At the end of the choose-your-own-adventure sci-fi role-playing game Mass Effect, you, as Space Marine Commander Shepard, have to make a decision. Should the full force of the human military be used to take out this giant synthetic squid monster that's trying to usher in a galactic genocide, or should they focus instead on trying to save the politicians who refuse to believe you about this exact threat for the entire game?
We won't be dragged into a galactic confrontation over a few dozen human colonies.
Every time humanity asks for help, you ignore us.
Shepard's right. I'm sick of this council and its anti-human bull—
Ambassador.
Now, at the game's climax, you're standing in the same spot where the Council refused to listen to your warnings about the very doomsday scenario that's now playing out, only this time, it's you who gets to pass judgment on them.
Are you really willing to sacrifice human lives to save the Council, Shepard?
This is bigger than humanity. Sovereign is a threat to every organic species in the galaxy.
The Council must be sacrificed for the greater good. Don't waste your reinforcements. Hold them back until the Citadel arms open up. Save the human fleet to attack Sovereign.
The signature Mass Effect dialogue wheel comes up on screen, and you're presented with 3 choices: save the Council, let them die, and a vague third option called concentrate on Sovereign, which is the name of that giant squid monster I mentioned. By this point in the game, you've been presented with this dialogue wheel and its various choices dozens, if not hundreds of times, and made just as many decisions. Sometimes you chose to do the right thing.
I've got money. A nice little emergency fund I set up. It's yours if you let us go.
The victims here deserve justice. I have to take you in.
That's not going to happen. Open fire. Open fire!
And then had to open up a can of cosmic whoop-ass on him anyway. Like, they made me do that. You saw me try to be reasonable. So, like, I don't think I have anything to apologize for. Other times, you chose to cut a deal with a shady information broker.
I'll transmit the files.
I knew you were a reasonable woman, Commander. My employer will remember this the next time you need something from us.
And then there was that time you chose to tell your boss to go f*** himself.
I believe there's something wrong with my ears. Did you just contradict me?
This ship is Council property right now. So respectfully, please clear the gangway.
And then other times you have to choose whether to help the grieving widower of a fallen Marine find closure.
I've requested that my wife's body be returned to me for cremation, but the military has refused my request.
Or leave her body in custody so we can learn more about the advanced weaponry that killed her.
Respectfully, Serviceman Bhatia may save more lives in death than she did in life.
It's a heartbreaking situation with no clear right or wrong answer, and you get to decide how it resolves. And then there are some special occasions where you just can't help yourself. Some mustache-twirling dipshit traps you in a mine and shows up in a hologram acting like he's a Saturday morning cartoon villain who already has his own action figure.
That was a detonator, Commander.
Shepard, at last.
Have we met?
So of course you've just got to dunk on his ass for the whole conversation.
I used my influence to assemble a fleet. We would drive your kind out of the Verge.
You organized the attack on Elysium. Too bad we kicked your ass back into Terminus, huh?
And then of course he tries to blow you up with a bomb, but you're Commander Shepard of the Systems Alliance Navy into the first human Spectre. It's gonna take more than that to shake your resolve.
We've got air and light and the Normandy's still in orbit. Let's look for another way out.
Oh shit, oh shit, oh fuck, okay, give me a second. But of course you defuse the bomb, and of course you find a way out, and then when you escape, you realize you're right outside the dude's camp, and would you look at that, you've got the high ground. And oh hey, wow, he even hijacked your tank and parked it right there for you. How nice of him. So naturally, you run down the mountain and then around into a valley so you won't be seen approaching, and by the time you get close enough to where the enemy could actually see you coming, you're hidden from view by the tank, and then you get in the tank, and then you blast that pompous Disney villain wannabe's ass back into Terminus.
Like fire! Hellfire!
And that's what ultimately defines the Mass Effect experience for me. Decisions. And the one you make here, to either save the Citadel Council or let them die, isn't just a consequential moment for this fictional universe. It's a decision that can make or break your experience of everything that comes after. And if you're anything like me, the many, many, many times I've played this game, odds are, you made the wrong one.
Opening the relays now, Joker. We need to save the Ascension no matter what the cost.
One of the unique selling points of the Mass Effect series is that you can import a save from Mass Effect 1 into Mass Effect 2, which means all the decisions you made in the first game will carry over and be reflected in the second. So if you, for instance, let a mysterious and powerful alien queen go free in the first game, she'll have this lady give you a message in the second.
Thank you, Shepard. The Rachni will sing again because of you.
Or if you helped this undercover agent bust a corrupt official in the original,
see you around the galaxy, Commander. I owe you a beer.
You can actually have that beer with her in the sequel.
You ever heard of the Collectors? They're attacking human colonies. I'm gonna stop them.
Damn, Shepard. For me, a tough job involves more paperwork.
Now, Mass Effect 2 is by no means a perfect game, none of them are, but it's the little touches like this that make it a truly special experience and unlike anything else I've ever played. Sure, the overarching plot is ultimately pretty linear, but you still get to shape the experience you have as you move through it, and the more stuff like this you run into, the more personalized that experience actually feels. You make a decision.
I can't believe my ancestors ever wore this piece of crap, but at least I've got it back.
I'm glad we could help you get it back.
I might just be starting to like you, Shepard.
The game reacts.
All right, Shepard. You've made your point. I don't like this, but I trust you enough to follow your lead.
And then the sequel continues that reaction.
Glad we didn't have to kill each other on Vermeer.
You made the rise of her not possible.
It's a marvelous trick when it works. A great example of what can happen when developers manage to synthesize writing and gameplay to create something greater than the sum of its parts. So long as the consequences of your actions stay consistent with the decisions you actually made, it should all be smooth sailing. With that in mind, let's talk about Conrad.
Do you have time for a quick autograph?
Like the biblical temptation of Christ, you as Shepard are tested by Conrad 3 times. The first time, he just wants an autograph. The second time, he just wants a picture.
Perfect.
And the third time, he just wants to buy a gun and join your squad.
I'd be right there with you, showing the Council what humanity is capable of.
Conrad, I haven't been shot in the head nearly enough times to make that seem like a good idea.
The really weird part is that if you choose the blue Paragon option to let him off easy,
what about your wife, Conrad?
What?
He shows up in the second game like this.
It's me, Conrad Verner. We met on the Citadel. I wanted to become a Spectre. And then you shoved a gun in my face?
This moment confused a lot of fans, and for good reason. Sure, in the first game he came off as the kind of guy you definitely find hanging out in Shepard's replies, but this is something else. The man is foaming at the mouth, making shit up, just truly unhinged behavior. Fortunately for Conrad though, this time the unsettling behavior wasn't completely his fault. As it says on the fan wiki, a glitch in the save file transfer process leads Conrad to believe you pointed a gun at him, regardless of what your actual decision was. So if we go back to the first game and choose the red renegade option instead...
I'm a bad guy. Stop me from killing you.
What? No, please don't hurt me. Why are you doing this?
His reaction in the sequel makes a little more sense.
You showed me what it meant to be truly extreme. I learned that lesson well.
Now, anyone who's played these games will tell you that the Conrad Verner glitch, while infamous, is far from the end of the world.
Come on, let's go.
But still, it kinda sucks when promises are made about a game in the marketing.
So it's, for the players that are familiar with the, and have played Mass and brought their saves, there's some really cool kind of stuff that you experience that you otherwise don't see.
Only for the final result to fall short.
I hear it goes like that in the biz.
And it's here that we return to the question of whether you should save or sacrifice the Citadel Council at the end of the first game. And let's look specifically at how those choices are framed. At the top of the dialogue tree, you have Paragon choices. This is meant to be the nice guy option. You're diplomatic, saving kittens from trees, and beating people senseless because the game swears this is the most humane solution.
I don't know how you did it, but you saved a lot of lives. Congratulations.
Then, at the bottom of the dialogue tree, you have the renegade choices, which usually involve being aggressive, bloodthirsty, and trigger-happy.
I can legally execute everyone in this bar. You think the Council cares about my shady past?
For instance, here's how my himbo Boy Scout Broshep responds to Conrad as a Paragon.
You're alive! Oh, this is the happiest day of my life!
Conrad, why are you acting like me?
And compare that to how my renegade Femshep handles it.
Why don't you sit back and watch how it's done? I got some asses to kick.
Conrad, let me make this perfectly clear. This is not acceptable.
Oh, my foot! You shot my foot!
And finally, in the middle of the dialogue tree, you have neutral responses, but no one really cares about those because the game actively rewards you for picking the options at the more extreme ends of the spectrum, and it really rewards you for sticking to one or the other. What this all adds up to is that a single playthrough of Mass Effect is likely to be either fully Paragon or fully Renegade. And between data BioWare has published themselves and this tweet from former BioWare cinematic designer John Ebinger, I think we can pretty confidently say that a vast majority of players choose the Paragon option a vast majority of the time. And if we can agree on that, then I think we can also agree that the vast majority of players, when faced with the question of whether to save or sacrifice the Council, likely chose to save them. And why does that matter? Because it means the vast majority of players who made that decision got a worse version of Mass Effect 2 than those who let them die. And in order to show you what I mean, we'll need to check in with Avina.
Welcome to the Presidium. Allow me to be your guide.
In Mass Effect, there are two kinds of synthetic intelligence, AIs and VIs. AI in this universe refers to a true sentient artificial intelligence. Only one kind of true AI species is known to exist in the first game, and it's these guys with the flashlight heads. They're called the Geth, and they're the bad guys, in case that wasn't clear. Avina, meanwhile, is the second kind of synthetic.
I am a fully interactive virtual intelligence, programmed to provide spontaneous guidance at predetermined locations of interest throughout this level of the Citadel.
Her features include answering basic questions, providing general information, and revealing the unconscious biases of her creators.
The embassies allow lesser species to have a voice on the Citadel.
That's pretty damn arrogant.
I apologize if my personality has offended you. Please submit all formal complaints in writing to the Citadel Tourist and Visitor Board.
So she's basically a more advanced version of modern-day ChatGPT. And hey, if someone told you that a technology that's devastating the environment, accelerating the spread of misinformation, and bringing the world economy to the brink of collapse could one day be as advanced and mind-blowing as Avina, then wouldn't you say that makes it all worth it in the end?
I am not programmed to make that kind of qualified judgment.
Exactly. So anyway, if you let the Council die at the end of the first Mass Effect, Avina will rat you out to the f***ing cops.
Be advised that your statement has been forwarded to Citadel Security. If you are approached by uniformed officers, please cooperate fully.
What stores are available on this level?
But if you saved the Council, Avina is so chill, you just walk up to her and she's like,
This is the Zakera Ward Transportation Hub. Public shuttles and shopping are available through the CSEC security cordon.
And then you can ask her all the standard questions, and you can even give her a little attitude about the increased security on the Citadel, which she shrugs right off.
In addition to increased CSEC patrols, weapon carry restrictions have been tightened.
Sounds like a police state to me.
That topic is beyond the scope of my programming.
Meanwhile, in a playthrough where the Council died, Avina's greeting starts out the same, but at some point it takes a turn. See if you can spot it.
This is the Zakera Ward Transportation Hub. Public shuttles and shopping are available through the CSEC security cordon. The Alliance Embassy has issued a travel advisory for human visitors to the Citadel. Would you like to hear it now?
And when you play that advisory, you learn that because of the decision you made in the last game, aliens have become more hostile towards humans. So much so, in fact, that it's made the entire Citadel more dangerous.
That makes it sound like there are anti-human race riots going on.
There have been 26 incidents of large-scale civil disorder aboard the Citadel in the past 2 years. Many non-human residents disagree with the Alliance-led restructuring of the Council and wish a return to the status quo.
And when you follow that up with a perfectly reasonable question,
is the Alliance doing anything to calm the population?
You're met with this lovely authoritarian gem.
Any further information has been deemed inflammatory by the Office of Information Management. Be advised that your inquiry has been forwarded to Citadel Security. If approached by uniformed officers, please cooperate fully.
There was a bright, cold day in April, and the clocks were striking 13.
And that's not just a one-off. Watch what happens when you try to pull a How Charmingly Fascist under this regime.
In addition to increased CSEC patrols, weapon carry restrictions have been tightened.
Sounds like a police state to me.
The result is improved safety for all residents. Be advised that your statement has been forwarded to Citadel Security. If you are approached by uniformed officers, please cooperate fully.
But even after she rats you out to the cops twice, Avina is still willing to help out where it counts.
Citadel Souvenirs offers licensed mementos of your visit. Their line of starship models is well regarded. Thank you for using Avina. Have a pleasant day.
But okay, whatever, it's Avina. She's a fun little diversion that's really only useful on your first playthrough. This is all easily missed regardless of what happened to the council. Who cares? And you know what? That's a fine point. Oh hey, that reminds me, I need to grab something from Rodam Expeditions.
We sell quality hunting supplies.
Buying things in Mass Effect is pretty straightforward. Get a few personal details or bits of world building out of the merchant, find out what it takes to get a discount.
Hey everyone, this store discriminates against the poor.
Get what you need, move on. And to be clear, straightforward doesn't mean boring. The merchants all have unique personalities, like you can definitely tell the difference between this guy from the first game.
Hello there, welcome to Moorland's famous shop. You want many good supplies, yes?
Let me see what you have.
Oh, you will be pleased, I think. Very good things I have. You will see.
And this guy from the second.
I'd like to buy something.
Oh, it's all automated these days. There's a catalog interface over there.
If everything's automated, why are you here?
Customer service. Sweeping out the store, carefully explaining things to the technologically illiterate.
But even though merchants and stores aren't the most memorable parts of the game, you're almost guaranteed to interact with most of them at least once, because they'll have items, weapons, and upgrades that help you progress. I explain this basic element of role-playing games because it means the vast majority of players have likely asked the guy behind the counter at Rodam Expeditions to explain his services, and are therefore familiar with the charming little sales pitch he gives you.
Imagine it, human. The break of day. You and your team have been stalking a Shafa for 5 days. In that time, it's killed 4 men. You see it? Line it up. Take the shot. Blam! It's down. You're the hero. That's what we offer. Not a vacation, but an experience.
And if you drop your name while trying to get a discount, the dude just loses it.
Well, my name's Shepard, and...
The Shepard? The one that put down Saren Arterius?
Oh, you do know me.
By the spirits. Shepard, in my store.
He's almost as big a fan as Conrad.
Oh, so that's how it is?
Meanwhile, if you let the council die, this is how your conversation with him starts.
Human?
Like, holy shit, what the fuck? That's so interesting and different and intense. But oh buddy, we're just getting warmed up. Here's what happens if you choose the same prompt that got him to do his little skit in the other timeline.
Tell me about your services.
I sell guns. I don't think humans need any more than they already have.
And that's it. No sales pitch, no fun pantomime, nothing but utter contempt.
Thanks to your kind.
And it's amazing. Like, yeah, in the world of the game, it sucks the guy hates me, but as a player, this is really cool because he hates me over a decision that I made. He literally confirms it when you try to intimidate a discount out of him.
I understand you sell hunting supplies. I'm interested.
Why would human scavengers need guns? They only strike when their prey is weak. Like that time the Citadel was attacked by Geth and you killed the Council.
And when you compare this to charming him into a discount in the other Paragon timeline, the writing just isn't as interesting. He doesn't recognize you for saving the Council, which is an actual decision you made. No, he recognizes you for beating the bad guy.
The Shepard? The one that put down Saren Arterius?
Which, like, yeah, of course I did. It's a video game and he was the final boss. Of course I took him down. That had nothing to do with me. The game made me do this. You know? I'm not responsible for my actions here. And yeah, in the Paragon timeline where the Council was saved, you get that fun little sales pitch out of him, but at no point is it ever made clear to you as a player that the friendliness of this merchant is a direct result of that decision. You walk up to him, and he's just a guy.
What can I do for you?
Meanwhile, in the Renegade timeline where the Council is dead, they make the tone of the conversation clear from the start, the reason why is pretty clear, and they do it all with one word.
Human?
I don't know, it just feels like they put more thought into the plotline that was darker and grittier, even though that's the one the fans of the first game were the least likely to see. Weird. And if you still don't believe me, if you still think I'm just grasping at straws and that it's not as bad as I'm making it out to be, then I think it's time we take this all the way to the top.
There is no greater sacrifice.
Throughout the first game, the Citadel Council basically treat you like the emotionally abusive parents you wish you never had. They never listen to or believe anything you have to say.
Listen to what you're saying. Saren wants to bring back the machines that wiped out all life in the galaxy? Impossible. It has to be. Where did the Reapers go? Why did they vanish? How come we found no trace of their existence?
They try to hold you back from pursuing your dream job.
No, it's too soon. Humanity is not ready for the responsibilities that come with joining the Spectres.
It was a Turian Spectre who betrayed this council, and it was a human who exposed him. I have earned this.
And they just can't help but be passive-aggressive even when you did everything right.
At least the colony was saved.
Of course it was saved. Shepard would go to any lengths to help a human colony.
Goodbye, Counselor.
Oh, lost the connection, ma'am. Sorry.
But if you save them at the end of the game like my good boy bro Shepard did, they become your biggest fans.
Your heroic and selfless actions serve as a symbol of everything humanity and the Alliance stand for.
And though we cannot bring back those valiant soldiers who gave their lives to save ours, we can honor their memories through our actions.
And perhaps most satisfyingly of all, the Council finally, at long last, believes you about the Reapers and the threat they pose to the galaxy.
The Council also owes you a great personal debt, Commander, one we can never repay. You saved not just our lives, but the lives of billions from Sovereign and the Reapers.
But cut to Mass Effect 2, and you get this.
Ah yes, Reapers. The immortal race of sentient starships allegedly waiting in dark space. We have dismissed that claim.
The whole point of the first Mass Effect was to stop the Reapers from invading. And not only did you do that, while also proving to the rest of the galaxy beyond a shadow of a doubt that they do in fact exist, an actual Reaper attacked the fucking Citadel. How much more proof do you need? He's right there. But now, a mere 2 years after the events of the first game, we somehow went from this...
When the Reapers come, we must stand side by side. We must fight against them as one. And together, we will drive them back into dark space.
To this.
I believe you, but without evidence from another source. The others think Saren was behind the Geth attacks.
And when you try to remind the Council of, you know, all that stuff you did in the last game...
Go back to Ilos and talk to Vigil. Or just look at what's left of Sovereign. It's obvious the technology is more advanced than ours.
They fucking gaslight you.
The Geth are capable of remarkable technological achievements. This is probably why Saren recruited them.
This Reaper theory proves just how fragile your mental state is.
What is going on?
But even if the false narrative they've created is that the Geth built Sovereign, wouldn't that still be reason for concern? As the late Seamus Young says in his video, Mass Effect 2 broke the franchise...
At the end of Mass Effect 1, the Council got to see a Reaper up close. Maybe they believe in the Doomsday legend and maybe they don't, but they have witnessed firsthand that there is a massive new military threat in the galaxy. The writer has leeway to make them provide you with help if the story calls for it, or to leave you alone to conduct your search, if that's what the gameplay calls for. The only thing this ending doesn't allow for is that the leadership would dismiss Shepard and decide to do nothing.
But somehow it gets even worse, because when you try to remind them that you saved their sorry asses in the first place, the response you get back is one of the most infuriating in the entire trilogy.
I kept Saren from conquering the Citadel. I sacrificed human lives to save this council.
We are in a difficult position, Shepard. You are working for Cerberus, an avowed enemy of the Council. This is treason, a capital offense.
But in order to understand why this moment is so specifically atrocious, we quite literally have no choice but to talk about Cerberus.
I'm sure you'll make the right decision.
Ah, Cerberus. The wannabe terrorist clowns from the first game whose collective ass you whooped over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And, depending on the service background you chose while creating your character, they might have even tortured a buddy of yours.
They're part of some organization, Cerberus, that runs secret tests like this. They treated me like a lab animal.
But the moment you boot up Mass Effect 2, the game blows up your ship and kills off your character. And I really do mean kill. Like, we're not even 10 minutes into the game. You haven't had a chance to make any real decisions yet, and you're forced to just sit there and watch helplessly as your Shepard suffocates alone in the empty void of space. And even though it sure looks like you're about to burn up in re-entry, after a couple of cutscenes, you're back up and fighting again like nothing ever happened.
Nice work, Shepard.
And all thanks to who? That's right, Cerberus.
I didn't spend 2 years and billions of credits bringing you back to serve as a common soldier.
And from that point on, the game just retcons everything about them, whitewashing the entire organization as if none of their murderous shenanigans from the first game ever happened.
I think I ran into Cerberus a few times while I was investigating Saren. Some kind of pro-human splinter group, right?
Well, that's what the Alliance wants people to believe.
The scientists were delighted I'd survived. Now they had someone to run tests on.
Even when you talk to the big guy himself, the sequel never once gives you a chance to confront him about anything you saw his organization do with your own eyes in the last game. In fact, the first time you even try to tell him to go fuck himself, the game has the nerve to chastise you for it because there's just so much work to do.
You might be the reason I'm still alive, but that doesn't mean I trust you.
You need to put your personal feelings aside. Humanity is up against the greatest threat of our brief existence.
The closest the game ever gets to letting you hold Cerberus accountable is in this optional conversation with one of your squad mates.
I saw your bases years ago. You were using Rachni, Thorian creepers, even husks to make your own army.
The husks were already dead. The Thorian creatures were mindless, and the Rachni were abandoned once we understood their intelligence. We weren't breeding an army, we were breeding expendable shock troops for high-risk scenarios. How many soldiers died in Saren's attack on Eden Prime? How many would have lived if we'd had just a dozen Rachni soldiers on our side?
And that's it. No follow-up, no mention of the Alliance Admiral they murdered.
Oh, Goddess. It's Admiral Kahoku.
We're committed to the advancement and preservation of humanity.
The game just lectures you yet again for not getting with the program that Cerberus is just super awesome and badass now. In fact, they're even more badass than you.
3-on-1, pal. It's over.
No, it's fun.
For example, here's the first conversation you have with the leader of Cerberus, the Elusive Man. That's right, he's so cool and mysterious you don't even get to know his real name. But just pay attention to the blocking, the lighting, the cinematography. All of it revolves around the Elusive Man, while you know, the theoretical protagonist of the game, stands completely still in a static medium shot as a flickering translucent hologram like a fucking chump. And you're just supposed to accept that this guy is your new boss. Actually, now that I think about it, I wonder if BioWare was trying to tell us something.
I am your new manager.
Robert, is Nellie our new manager?
This is an odd situation, but it's very interesting how it's playing out.
The game is so set on making you work for Cerberus that it even pulls this dirty little trick on you. So when the Elusive Man tells you the stakes of the game, that someone is abducting human colonists and they're probably working for the Reapers, you can pick this option right here. I'll need a lot of convincing, which leads Shepard to say,
nothing you say is going to convince me to trust you. I need more than words.
This is the most skeptical response the game lets you have, and even then you're still giving him the benefit of the doubt. But if you instead choose to investigate, a route many Mass Effect 1 players are likely to go down, and ask him even one question, by the time he's done answering it and you come back to the dialogue wheel, that option is just gone. Now this is the most skeptical response you can give him.
If what you say is true, if the Reapers are behind this, I'd consider helping you.
The game literally takes choices away from you when dealing with Cerberus, forces you to work with them whether you like it or not, and then it has the gall, the audacity to throw it all right back in your face the moment you try and ask for help by appealing to a decision you did make. And that is why this moment is so thoroughly infuriating. It goes against the entire spirit of the series.
I kept Saren from conquering the Citadel. I sacrificed human lives to save this council.
We are in a difficult position, Shepard. You are working for Cerberus, an avowed enemy of the Council. This is treason, a capital offense.
This is just as unhinged and absurd as Conrad Verner accusing a Paragon Shepard of pointing a gun at him. Only this time, it's not a bug. It's just how they made the game. So now the only question left is, what happens if you just say to hell with these assholes? So yeah, if you let the original council die, the members of the new one just refuse to even meet with you. Now, you might hear that and think, oh wow, that kind of sucks. There's 3 whole characters you don't get to meet. And yeah, the scene is just you and Anderson, and that might feel like a downgrade. But what you actually get in return is a far more competent scene that makes way more sense.
You let the previous council die during Sovereign's attack on the Citadel. They feel you'll always put human interests before galactic concerns. Rumors that you're working with Cerberus haven't helped. What are you doing out there?
This scene is already so much better, but why? Well, because the consequence of your decision actually makes sense. You let the old council die, so the new one doesn't trust you. And yes, you're still forced to work with Cerberus, but listen to how it's framed here.
Rumors that you're working with Cerberus haven't helped.
Referring to them as rumors helps soften the blow to the fact that working with Cerberus isn't your choice, because clearly the council just didn't want to talk to you. It's almost like you're their Conrad Verner hanging out in their replies, and they're just trying to come up with any excuse to get rid of you. And the council downplaying the Reaper threat also makes more sense here. They clearly see Shepard as a ticking time bomb to their power and authority that could go off at any moment, so naturally they would want to discredit you, which naturally means lying to the public about you and the genuine threat to everyone's long-term survival you're trying to warn them about. It actually feels like a calculated political decision, rather than, you know, total lunacy.
Ah yes, Reapers!
And what this all adds up to is that in this version of the game, Shepard the character is punished by not being able to meet with the council, but you the player are rewarded with the scene that feels like a natural consequence of your decision. Meanwhile, if you let the council live, Shepard is rewarded by getting an audience with the council, but the player gets punished by having decisions they did make get cancelled out by ones they didn't. What makes this even more interesting is that my Shepard didn't even choose the renegade let the council die option. She chose concentrate on Sovereign. And out of all three options, I think it might be the best one.
A sacrifice for the greater good. I only pray it is not in vain.
Part of what's so interesting about the choice to save or spare the council is that the game gives you two paths to the same outcome. Because when you choose either the renegade or the neutral option, the order that's ultimately given is the same.
All Alliance ships, hold formation. Wait for a shot at Sovereign. Nothing else matters. I repeat, nothing else matters.
The difference then lies in your Shepard's motivation. And I'll be honest, if you choose the renegade option, it sounds like you're actively committing a hate crime.
Hold off, Joker. We're not sacrificing human lives to save the Council. Keep our ships back until they can get a shot at Sovereign.
And sure, if you're doing a pure renegade run, then choosing this option makes a lot of sense. Your Shepard will have a great time signing up with Cerberus and doing the elusive man's dirty work, and the rest of the galaxy can deal with humans being the big top dog because you made damn sure it happened. But this Shepard, she's just not that person, man. She's your average grunt trying to make her way in this crazy universe. She believes in humanity being a part of the galactic community.
Humanity needs to do this. Not just for our own sake, but for the sake of every other species in Citadel space. Saren must be stopped, and I promise you all, we will stop him.
But she also believes in standing up for ourselves.
Have you encountered any situations where the Citadel asked you to place its needs before the needs of Earth?
I think they know not to ask me to work against my own people.
She'll strike down the wicked without hesitation.
Corporal, if you kill him, you're a criminal. But I'm a Spectre. Nobody will question me.
But she also believes in redemption for those who truly wish to pursue it.
If you allow it, I would like to stay here with the colonists. They have suffered greatly, and I played a role in their suffering. I would like to make amends.
The colonists will need all the help they can get. They'll be happy to have you on their side.
She's a practical person who makes practical decisions, like making a deal with the devil she knows rather than creating a vacuum for the devil she doesn't.
With my former partners dead, this syndicate is now mine. I could not have done it without you.
Those men deserve to die. Now, are we gonna have a problem?
And more than anything else, she believes everyone deserves a chance to fight for their own survival, even if there's not much hope.
I'm opening your cell, but then you're on your own.
Don't look back and hope to outrun the blast, A better chance than I had before you showed up. Thank you, human. And good luck. You'll need it.
Now here, at the end of the choose-your-own-adventure sci-fi role-playing game Mass Effect, you, as Space Marine Commander Shepard, have to make a decision. And what actually makes the most sense when you really think about it? Pouring all your resources into saving a boss who's been kind of a dick to you since before you even got the job? Or should you put them towards stopping the evil space octopus who's trying to let his buddies in to wipe out everything and everyone you've ever loved? And when I think about it like that, there's really only one option.
Wait until those arms open, Joker. We need all our ships focusing on Sovereign, even if it means sacrificing the Council.
A sacrifice for the greater good. I only pray it is not made in vain.
The epilogue only features Shepard, Anderson, and Udina, and in stark contrast to the superific sunshiny love fest of the other ending, this one is just a nasty little scheming session.
They can't rebuild without us.
We need to take the lead in forming a new council, one with a human chairman at its head.
And if you choose to push back on that obviously awful idea...
This wasn't some plan for the Alliance to seize power. Forcing the other races to accept our leadership is going to cause problems.
You just have to sit by and watch as even your good buddy Anderson hypes himself up into a good old-fashioned human power grab.
The ambassador's right. The other races look up to us now. They won't just accept our leadership. They'll welcome it.
So when they ask you for your opinion on who should get the job, you're just kinda over it and don't give a fuck anymore.
Let the politicians figure this one out. I've got real work to do. The Reapers are still out there, and I'm gonna find some way to stop them.
And that's it. You did your job, you saved the galaxy, and now the politicians can go argue amongst themselves while you're out there trying to save them all from the Reapers. None of that's your problem. Until this guy doesn't want to sell you weapons because he thinks humans have too much power. And Avina rats you out to the cops because the people in charge now are a bunch of fascists. And the new council refuses to see you because they're convinced you assassinated the old one. In isolation, these are small touches, but when you add them up, they paint such a clear, vivid world. It's a darker, sadder, more nihilistic world, but it also feels alive and responsive to the decisions you made. And when you compare all that to this guy selling you weapons with a silly little skit, Avina giving you basic information with no unique insight into the state of this specific version of the world, and the original council agreeing to see you, yet ignoring everything you did in the last game and refusing to help you because of something that was forced on you in this one, you kinda can't help but feel like the developers cared more about one of these timelines than the other.
Fine. You've got it. Now buy something and get out.
Pleasure doing business with you.
Go to hell.
And when you consider that the vast majority of players who import their saves are likely to have chosen the more optimistic Paragon timeline, yet that one has the less interesting, more frustrating version of the story, what must we conclude about the game's priorities?
Mass Effect 2 is a darker story. It's a dark second chapter. Dark.
Mass Effect 2 is a darker game.
It looks a little bit darker, maybe a little bit grittier. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, the story is darker, yeah. This is the dark second act of the Mass Effect trilogy.
Exactly. Life got dark.
It's clear they were trying to make the Empire Strikes Back of Mass Effect games, and in that regard, they nailed it. The tone of the game wins me over every time. The world of Mass Effect 2 is just so much fun, and Shepard gets so many more opportunities to be expressive.
Aliens don't know strength. My followers are true Krogan. Everything about Grunt is a lie. You dare. I like this human.
The squad mates and building your team are obviously the highlights of the game, the loyalty missions are a brilliant mechanic, and the suicide mission stresses me out every time even though I could do the whole thing in my sleep. The game is just that good at building mystery and tension around it. But given everything we've discussed in this video, I can't help but look at all these interviews from the production of the second game about how dark and gritty it is, without thinking about this interview with creator Casey Hudson during the production of the first Mass Effect.
I think in a lot of the science fiction that we're seeing today in movies or games is a lot of it is really dark and gritty, and you'll have lots of rusted metal and dark shadows and things like that, and that stuff is really cool. But we also wanted to do something different.
Mass Effect 2 is a great game. It's a groundbreaking game. It might just be one of the best games ever made, and it was made by a team of talented, passionate artists, and I am so grateful to everyone at BioWare who helped bring it to life. But I also can't help but feel like Mass Effect 2 is, in some ways, a betrayal of the vision promised by Mass Effect 1. To quote Seamus Young again, this time from part 15 of his 50-part Mass Effect retrospective, quote, "It feels like a sequel made by someone who actively loathed the original. This wasn't just a quick retcon to change a few elements. The writer blew up the Normandy and killed the main character, ejected all of the squad members from the story, and then brought Shepard back to life and poofed the Normandy 2 into existence under new management. And as I've argued here, the game goes even further by actively punishing you for having chosen the more optimistic ending from the more optimistic game. And it'll even go as far as taking choices away from you if you're not on board with this radical new direction. So as far as I can tell, the only way to come into Mass Effect 2 from Mass Effect 1 and have any sense of continuity, satisfaction, or to even have conversations that make basic logical sense, then you have to let the Council die. And if you go to the Citadel Council page on the fan wiki and scroll scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll see that the default state of the game, the one you get if you don't import a save from the first Mass Effect, is a dark and gritty world in which the original Council is dead. So yeah, I hate to break it to the vast majority of you who likely chose to save the Citadel Council, but all the evidence seems to suggest that you played Mass.
Any further information has been deemed inflammatory by the Office of Information Management. Be advised that your inquiry has been forwarded to Citadel Security. If approached by uniformed officers, please cooperate fully.